How's it going, chimps? My name is Mokai and welcome back to the shooting range. You guys probably have already been here with me before, and if you have been here with me before, comment down below if you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, we are back in the shooting range today. I did a video a little while back when Exfil was pretty new about every single ammo type versus every single armor tier in Contractor's Exfil. And that video was great. It took a lot of information out of the game. It took a lot of great learning for me. I learned how to use ammo properly. I taught you how to use ammo properly, and I also taught and I also taught you use how to armor properly. Yes. Anyways, great video, great stuff. Armor, ammo types, damage. Great. But with the recent wipe that hit Contractor's Exfil in September, they have made a huge change to armor. That means I need to absolutely go back and completely redo that first video I did, because armor reacts to ammo completely different. It's a huge change. We need to come back and do all these all over again. I'm going to be doing those right here, right now. There's going to be more talking while I'm showing them. This is going to be a much faster, much more simplified version of the last video I did. But anyways, if you don't know, because you weren't here last time, because I have a lot more subscribers than I did last time. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. You guys mean everything to me. Anyways, I'm going to grab every single weapon from every single caliber, starting with 9mm. And this wipe I get to do, as you can see, obviously I have the Chris Vector chambered in 9mm. I have gotten every single weapon. As you can see, firing power is very important in this wipe in terms of damage and bullet damage. So I have gotten every single weapon as close to 100% firing power as I possibly could. Obviously 99.08 is close enough. 101, some weapons I could have probably gotten closer if I was higher level and had more available to me, but I believe 101 is still pretty good. These weapons that aren't at exactly 100% are still going to show you a great representation of... Oh wait, watch this, watch this. Boom, look at that. They're going to still show you a phenomenal representation of these weapons' performance. That is what we're mostly looking at today. You'll see them in comparison to all of the armors really quick. For example, I'm going to be starting with the Chris Vector 9mm. We're going to go with PSO to start. Got our gun fully loaded here. And then when it comes to every single armor, we're going to start with the highest of each tier. Obviously, as you can see, these are all of our common. All of the gray helmets are our common helmets. All of the green helmets are our unlikely helmets. All of the blue ones are our rare, and then epic, legendary, no ultimate for helmets. So, for example, for common, we're going to start with the highest on this board in terms of all of our uncommon helmets, and I am doing this all of our common helmets, and I'm doing this even though some of these other ones might have specific stats here and there that might be a little bit better. You can cherry pick, but I know that if I'm going with this, it'll still give you a good representation of how this ammo pairs up against all of the common rounds or common armor pieces. Same with unlikely. I'm going to be going with the Kaivar M helmet. I believe that is the best helmet in the lineup. That is going to be the one that we're going to use. These ones might have little things here and there again, but what matters most is how it performs against that one. You'll know that it'll perform just as good, or if not better, against these ones. Same with rare helmets. I am actually going to be using the OP high protection helmet. Okay, I've gone back and changed the helmet for rare. I feel like this helmet is actually a tier 5 helmet. I don't want to go back and check because it's going to ruin all my setup here. But I know that the OP high protection helmet is just way above the other rare helmets. And yes, I should be using this helmet according to my rules that I set up for the, you know, best of the line, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to use the Warrior because that's what most people use. Anyways, let's continue. And then for these three here, again, I'm going to be doing the black one here, this last one here, the Everest, whatever. Again, these ones might be better. I think you guys get the gist. So let's get started. For example, with the common 9mm PSO, we're going to be firing single fire. I'm going to try to hit just the helmet, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 shots to the head there with 9mm PSO, and then we'll go straight onto the chest. 12 shots to the chest there. And then we'll go down the list of all of the armor as well as all of the ammo. So let's make this a lot more simple for you guys, and I will show you guys the numbers while I talk about them. Alright chimps, I have the results right in front of me of everything. You guys are going to be watching some footage in the background, but I wanted to show this video in a much different way than I did the last time because that took too long. And I think we can do this a lot better. Anyways, let's go through all of the calibers really quick and just talk about some of the things that I'm noticing between this new damage system and how it leans more towards blunt damage affecting the way you deal damage with your rounds, and when it used to just be mostly penetration damage last time, or chance I guess. Anyways, the new way ammunition works in Contractor's Exfil Zone is your weapon is going to do a certain amount of blunt damage to armor before penetrating, and then if your round penetrates that armor, it is going to do the full damage value of that round. Every single round has their own base damage, and then now, I mean, it worked the same before where blunt damage would do a certain amount of damage before penetrating your armor, but now they've basically buffed all of it. So I'm noticing a big pattern throughout every single caliber in this game, where as you see with 9mm and PSO, the highest amount of rounds to even kill somebody to the chest is 16, but it does not go beyond that. And then if we look at before the wipe, 9mm PSO wasn't even killing anybody to the head at 30 rounds. Like, it was just not doing anything. But even 9mm PST was more than 30 rounds to the chest on Ultimate. But now it's only 9mm PST is at 17 rounds to the chest. So things are a lot more balanced. And then obviously if you need to pause at any moment to look at the numbers here. But yeah, nothing really crazy with 9mm. Obviously we're going to be able to keep up a lot better. Even 9mm PSO, the least armor penetrating round in the entire game, is killing ultimate chests at 16 rounds. That is huge. And then funny enough, FMJ takes a bump, but the reason that is because they both have low penetration against those rounds. As you can see with 9mm FMJ is at 15, then it makes that huge hop up to 18 at epic chests, and then 9mm PSO, it can get a kill at 14 rounds at the rare chest, but then it jumps up to 16 at its cap at epic chests, and then it never goes higher than that. So the biggest reason why FMJ is at 18 more rounds to kill than PSO is because by the time they hit epic ammo, they are not penetrating at all. But 9mm PSO has a higher base damage, so when penetration goes out the window, base damage is more important. So that is why it performs a little bit better there. And it even 9mm PSO even performs better than PST against those. So it's really interesting to see how that works. And then 9mm AP is obviously doing the best there. But yeah, as you can see with that, that helps to explain how things work. Now we're going to move on to 45 ACP. So 45 ACP, again, obviously you're never going to have a round to take more than 30 to kill. But then we also have that same thing where L match hits its cap at the most rounds it's going to take to kill somebody in the chest at legendary, and it's more than FMJ. FMJ is going to take less rounds to kill, but you can also see that FMJ is going to hit that cap sooner, but they're still tied at epic. So it's going to be really interesting to decide what to use against higher tier armor if they're both killing at the same and then actually doing better. FMJ is doing better past epic. It seems like epic armor is that like hard wall where a lot of lower tier ammo hits that wall. I mean, it makes sense because they're, L matches a rare round, so it's gonna, do its best against rare armor. But then it hits that cap, it hits that wall, or it doesn't pass, but then AP goes beyond there. So yeah, nothing too crazy here. It's kind of the same story, same song and dance as 9mm. Now we're going to move on to 5.56 by 39. This takes a huge bump from last time. I mean, again, everything's taking such a big bump. Some weapons were taking 30 plus rounds to kill, and now they're just cutting that in half entirely. They're performing so much better. But then you look at weapons like this that have ultimate ammo, like 5.45 by 39 BS. Takes a huge step up from even 7 and 40. 7 and 40, if we look at 7 and 40 epic chest and head, it's going 4 to the head, 8 to the body. But then BS is just 1 to 3. And then we go down to legendary, and it's still taking a huge step, and then another huge step. So I mean, it's kind of like what you'd expect. Everything's gradually better than the last. And then you also notice with the smaller pistol calibers, 9mm and 45 ACP, the low tier and second tier ammo, the PSO versus FMJ, and then FMJ 45 ACP versus L-Match ACP. The FMJ was killing faster at the higher tier armor. That is not the same case with 545x39, this bigger, large rifle caliber. FMJ is handling armor better, so it's more of a growth. It's less of a spiking chart that's a little all over the place. These are more consistent rounds, but I mean, it makes sense because it's a larger caliber, it's a rifle, so it's going to be handling that a lot better. But not much to see. Let's move on to 556. And it looks like 556 again. It's the same kind of deal, but it's just everything's so much more consistent. Now you can grab MK255s where before you'd run into somebody with epic armor and you'd stand no chance. You'd have to go straight for leg meta. And now it's actually going to be a good idea to shoot him in the head. You're going to hit 6 shots to the head. And the other thing to mention about this is I really wish they could let me put face masks on these helmets in the bunker, because I feel like that's a huge part. But just know that if you're doing 6 to the legendary helmet, you're doing less than that to the face mask. So just keep that in mind. And then obviously with the rare helmet, I did the warrior and I shot it in the top of the head, not in the face. I'm assuming that counts as a face mask. It's different value than the helmet. But regardless, remember, the headshots are going to be more than the face mask. So you're going to see 6 shots to the face with MK255 on a legendary head. Then you're going to know that the face shield is going to take at least 1 less. Or the same. Might be exactly the same. But either way, MK255, 6 rounds to the head, used to not even do 30. Like, that's huge. You're actually going to stand a chance on somebody. You're still going to need it, or you're still going to be at a disadvantage big time, but it's going to help out a ton. And then obviously we go over to AP. It's not even fair. AP is doing 1 to the head all the way to epic, and then 3 to the head to legendary. You put that in something like the RC416, 850 RPM. That's going to absolutely shred people. That's the other thing with all these rounds is RPM is going to be a huge factor. I mean, it already was a big factor, but it's even more so now that lower calibers can keep up. Let's move on to 7.62x39. Again, same pretty much deal as 5.56x45. Yeah, I don't really want to sit here and reiterate too many things to you guys just to sound like a broken record, but I do want to show you guys everything. But yeah, I think this information is going to be really good. This is a huge update. I am absolutely in love with this. This is going to make the game feel so much more fair and balanced. Obviously, BP or AP good, SP good, FMJ good. PS even better, BP even greater, AP the greatest. Now 7.62x51. Beautiful results. M61 is absolutely disgusting. Because of the level you get it, you can purchase it, and being able to throw that into a high fire rate, the highest fire rate 7.60x51 weapon that you can find, that is going to be extremely beneficial. And then SPs, dude, you're killing somebody at 13 to the chest on the best chest rig in the entire game with the lowest, a level, what is it? Level 1, a level 2 round. I think it's a level 1 round, correct me if I'm wrong. Very low level round is doing 5 to the head. That is extremely phenomenal. This round used to do 10 to the head. Cut that in half. It used to do 27 to the head, chest on legendary. That's huge. Obviously, this is going to kick really hard, so you're going to have a lot of hard time recoil managing something like that, especially if it's high fire rate. And I don't remember off the top of my head what's the highest fire rate, 7.60x51. It's a little bit faster than 600, nothing crazy, but still. And then obviously M993s. One thing to keep in mind with the M993s is nothing. They're just busted. I was sitting here thinking that they nerfed them a little bit, but I don't think they did at all. Still 1 taps to the head on the best helmet in the game. 2 to the chest on both legendary and ultimate helmet or chest rigs. Absolutely busted. Then 7.62x54R. Honestly, the HP ammunition, FMJ, and LPS are all MPS. 7.62x54 is really interesting. If you look at all the values, HP is where it starts. Like, if you look at all the values, 7.62x54R, all of the common rounds are common. All of them versus common armor is really good, except HP is going to do 1 to the chest because of the higher base damage. Same with the unlikely armor. And then we go to rare, and that's where HP really starts to feel the blunt damage as well as the penetration. That is where it makes the biggest difference and falls behind the most. And then epic, it pulls behind FMJ. The other rounds do good. And then they kind of all at legendary, HP, FMJ, LPS, and PS are all in the same kind of bracket at legendary armor. So if you're going to play against somebody at late game with 760 by 54R, I mean, obviously PS is always going to be your best bet because, yeah, other rounds are going to do the same against legendary armor. But against people anywhere below that's going to help you. But in late game, everybody's running the best of the best. So it's like it's like SNB is really the only one worth running. Yeah, it's really interesting that your SNB, I mean, obviously it's not the only one worth running, but it's really interesting that PS, your legendary round, is only 2 rounds better than your worst HP round, which kind of sucks because once you're at level 3, you can't buy SNBs yet. You're really not doing a whole lot better than HP, but I mean, I guess that's just the way it is. Okay, let's move on to 12 gauge. One thing to keep in mind, I did every single one of these rounds at their optimal range. I took the values of the optimal range. So obviously you go further out. We're not testing the range of these rounds. Unfortunately, it's a lot more difficult to do. These variables are already ridiculous. So let's keep this with the optimal range. Rips are heavily nerfed. I mean, oh yeah, big time nerf. They used to do 3 to the chest all the way through to ultimate rounds or ultimate armor. And they also used to do 2 to the head all the way through legendary heads. But they got very heavily nerfed and their range is absolute doggy doo-doo. Big time. So, which I think actually is deserved because rips were kind of ridiculous. They're kind of your close to mid-range AP 20s, and I'm glad that they did get a nerf because they were just ridiculous. Buckshot. Your buckshot rounds, absolute dog doo-doo. You're only doing that's the worst round in the entire game. I mean, the biggest thing about buckshot is that you're doing a good spread, so you have a good chance of hitting skin, but your range is terrible. If anybody's wearing a face mask, you're not doing anything to them. If you can get 4 rounds out to their face faster than they can shoot you, then I mean, that's definitely worthwhile. But you could just go straight to Flashitty. It used to be Flashitty. It used to be terrible. But now, you're doing 1 tap all the way to rare, 2 tap on the epic head, and then 4 on legendary, 9 to the chest on the ultimate. I mean, you're not expecting this round to do anything crazy, but it was a lot better than it used to be. Oh no, it wasn't. I'm an idiot. Look over here, 5 to 7 to the chest on ultimate. So it's been buffed in some ways, but then nerfed in others. And right, it's also worst. It used to do 1 to the head on legendary. Now it's only doing 4. Take that back. Flashitty is still mid. AP 20, that is still really good. It did get a little bit of a nerf though. Used to do 4 to the chest, now it's doing 5 on ultimate and legendary and epic. Epic used to do 4. Everything got brought down by 1, it looks like, except it still does 2 to the head on legendary. So yeah, there's your 12 gauge. Now we have our 6.8 by 51. Huge shout out to our Love Asian girls. You are awesome. Thanks for giving me your pink XM5. This is really good numbers here. Yeah, huge improvement here over the last previous results. Used to only be doing 8 to the chest on rare chest pieces. Still only 2, but that is very well felt. And then much more improved against legendary and ultimate armor. Huge deal. And then ultimate armor used to tank 25 plus rounds, and now we're at 10, which is a big deal. Especially since the XM5 got a buff to RPM. Some people were telling me that it wasn't buffed, but I'm 99% sure that it was buffed to from 600 to like 720, I think it is. Can't remember off the top of my head, but a very nice buff. And then hybrids got also obviously a lot better. Hit that legendary chest cap at 9 rounds, ultimate rounds match that. A lot of rounds got that max amount of damage that they can be withheld from, I guess, if you could put it. Basically, there's like a low bar set for every single round's maximum amount of rounds it takes to kill somebody to that part of the body. I think you guys probably noticed that pattern. XM5 hybrids, very nice, very good. And that does it right there for all of the testing. This one went a lot better. I hope these graphs are a lot easier for you guys to see and read. I'm probably going to try to put everything up so you guys can see everything all next to each other, and hopefully it was a lot easier to see than last time. That was great. Honestly, these changes, I'm doing this outro before I'm even recording the bit where I talk about everything. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to talk about how good these changes are and how much I like the blunt damage changes. Man, I'm an idiot. I'm messing with my cable while talking. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to talk about that, but I'm going to reiterate it again. I think this is a massive change for the game. I think this is going to make the game a lot more balanced. It's going to make things feel a little bit more fair for those of you running low tier ammo. And I feel like now when we're running low tier ammo, we're actually going to feel like we stand a chance. Huge shout out to I Love Asian Girls. Thank you so much for the golden XM5. This is going to have to... Golden? Man, it is late and I have been shooting guns for too long. Thank you so much for the pink XM5. This bad boy is going to have to sit in my bunker and just look pretty. Yeah, this is going to make the game so much easier. You're going to run into raid and you're going to find an M4 loaded up with only MK255s and you're actually going to stand a chance. Like, before, if I found a gun with MK255s in a raid and I was going up against somebody like this, zero chance. Like, there's literally zero chance you're going to kill them. I mean, obviously leg meta, but it's like, I don't like having to go for the leg meta. Leg meta is so lame. It's so boring. Now you can actually go for the head and kill them in a decent amount of rounds, especially considering the fact that you have the RPM of the M4 sitting at 800. Kill time is so much more important now and so much better, more well-rounded. Basically, we just brought kill time of all the ammos down, and not down, together. Brought them together. So I think this is going to be overall a lot more healthy for the game. Anyways, that's enough for today. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope it helps everybody. Remember to take care of yourselves, take care of your family, love your family, and as always, Christ is King.